Welcome back to the Obsession Podcast. Mike Stadler here.
Carl Bethke here.
Got a question that came in from another subscriber. What do you think you should do for summer prep for fall hunting? That's from Michael, so obviously he's probably pretty smart. Got a good name.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Michael, that one's probby smart.
That hurts a little bit. I don't have any feelings, so it doesn't matter.
It's true. That'll stomp the last one.
What do you think you should do for summer prep for fall hunting?
Shoot your bow.
Shoot your bow.
A lot.
Yeah. We did a lot of it today because our summer prep is for fall, which is our buckwheat.
Correct.
And it is June 12th today.
Yeah.
Buckwheat time.
Buckwheat. It's true.
Which is our cover crop.
Yes.
Basically.
For our brassicas.
For our brassicas that are going to go in August. So that's a summer, prep for us. Our corn.
Yep.
We've had in now a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks-ish.
Weekish.
So it's starting to pop. We go in obviously a little later. We're not farmers.
Nope.
Our deer is there for structure and, late food.
Yep.
That's a summer thing for us. Obviously, we shoot a bows a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, you really want to make sure your equipment's on, number one. Summer prep, physical conditioning. I don't know how much you're into that, Michael, but physical conditioning, go to the gym, prep yourself, make your body strong. You'd be surprised if you don't work your core how bad you are in a tree stand.
Mm-hmm.
It's not... Your core is probably the most important part when it comes to archery to actually make the proper archery shot. Whether you stand or sit in a stand, if you're sitting in a stand and you shoot, you really got to have a good core.
Your core doesn't just mean your abs. A lot of people think
No.
core is your abs. Your core is your low back, your abs all the way around. That's what your core is.
Yep.
I do core work every day.
Yep.
Every day, no matter what. Even if I don't go to the gym, which is pretty rare, I usually get there 7 days a week. But I do core work at home. This. I even start to fail in my shots, like especially in winter league.
Yeah.
If we're shooting 20-arrow nights,
Mm-hmm.
a little over halfway through there, my shots start to stray.
Get a little bit weak on the
Get a little weak, and I'm pretty strong.
Yeah, you are.
Done this a long time, and I fatigue the hell out of myself in the gym, but it'll get you still. Not that you're going to shoot 20 arrows
Right.
at a deer, I hope.
I'll be honest, 20 arrows doesn't sound like a lot, but you start shooting 20 to 40 arrows, you'd be surprised how your concentration and everything changes. And like you were saying earlier too about your equipment, make sure your equipment's on, make sure your equipment's good. If you have to do equipment changes, this is the time to do it.
Do it now. It's June right now when we're talking about this.
Yeah.
So, that's a great time to be shooting your bow, getting things dialed in.
Yeah. Don't be going in the end of August, beginning of September and buying a bow and throwing a sight on it and all this other stuff and expect to be good.
I stay at a fleet farm.
Yeah.
I see people in there, dude, buying arrows out of those bins.
Yeah.
Buying stuff hanging there. I'm like, go to a shop.
Yeah, go to your local archery shop.
Carl does it obviously as his part-time gig. Has his own archery shop. Most people that have an archery shop are pretty knowledgeable and pretty good at setting your bow up.
Yep.
And get your stuff from them.
Yeah.
Really.
You're going to be able to get higher quality stuff. And I'm not going to say, I'll be honest, Cabela's and Bass Pro, just stay out of those places. They have pro shops, they have guys that are fair. But the majority of the time, they're there to sell you what they've got hanging off the shelf.
Yeah. It's the best.
Yeah, it's not.
They got it there.
It's not. Well, you can buy PSEs at Cabela's and Bass Pro, but you can't buy the Pro Series.
Not the Pro Series ones.
No. You can't buy a Mach 1 or anything there. You're buying a lower end, and now, if that's what you can afford and start with, hey, great. Yeah. But you can also go online and buy yourself a good used bow, only a year or two old.
We've done it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, heck, I just got myself another Mach 1 earlier in the year here. It's a $2,000 bow, and I paid $790 for it.
You suck.
Well,
You suck.
sorry.
Yeah, you can't beat that. I mean,
No.
but yeah, anything you can do in the summer at all, is going to make you better and ready for fall.
Yeah.
And that comes down to everything. Getting your equipment set up, ready. If you're doing food plots, on your own property or a lease property or something like that, that should all be getting done early.
Yeah.
So it's done, especially if you're doing corn and stuff like that, and prepping then for those later brassica plots. Like we did a lot of that today, and tomorrow we're going to do some more.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all huge work.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be very successful, this is going to be for everybody here with small plots or small parcels. You want to be successful. There's pretty much something to do just about every week on your property to be successful every year. Number one thing for me talking to people is look and see what your neighbors have and what they don't have. Because Mike said it before, and it's a really good statement. You are a slave to your neighbor. If I've got a neighbor that's got an excellent food plot program, well, what am I going to do? Well, that's great. He's got the food. Well, I'm going to have the best bedding area in the area. So now I'm catching them between bed and food, and vice versa. If he's got the best bedding, say I've got a weird layout on my property where I've got basically no bedding ability, but I can put all kinds of food in. Well, I'm going to do that. I'm going to make sure I got the best plots. So, that's the other thing to think about when you're prepping for summer and small parcels. We can go into that on another podcast, but look at what your neighbors have and find the deficiency in their setup, and then improve yours to make it your strength is their weakness.
And this also goes into if you don't have any land and you're hunting public, you should be out there scouting that stuff.
Oh my God!
And it's going to be miserable.
Yep.
Carl and I have both done it. We hunted public a lot for a long time.
Our TV shows were done off of public and a lease we had.
Yeah, we're fortunate enough now that we both have our own properties. But yeah, if you're hunting public, you should be out there. And you should be out there a lot trying to find those spots. And you want to be where nobody else wants to be.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's where the deer are going to be. And that is 1,000% fact.
Yeah, you can do some of it. I see a lot of guys talking about, online aerial photos and stuff like that. You can use that to your advantage. You can find saddles and such and such, but boots on the ground are what's actually going to allow you to see what's going on, especially on public land. And like Mike said, you got to get back.
Yeah, and everything now is greened up. It's going to be how it's going to be.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be miserable right now.
It'll be miserable, and now, with the heat coming, the bugs and the mosquitoes are going to be bad. The ticks are already bad, but it's all part of it.
Yeah.
It's all part of it.
Well, a few of the guys that used to work for Mike and I, Chris Strait is one of them. He hunts public land up north, big woods.
Yep.
And that guy is constantly in the woods. When he's not fishing, he's in the woods learning stuff.
And he's successful.
Successful. He does a great job. Shoots some really nice big deer on public land.
Yeah.
So
There's a lot of big deer on public land.
Yeah. Just right place, right time.
There's a lot of these deer that hang on my wall and Carl's wall that have been through public land before they got to us,
That's a fact.
Or back through, vice versa, whatever. So
right.
Don't think that they're not there, because they are there.
Oh yeah, some of the biggest deer in the state are shot off in public. Some people talk about it, some people don't.
Right. Most of them don't.
Most of them don't, especially if they're hunting public.
Yeah.
But hopefully that answers your question about summer prep, Michael. For us, it's making sure that our equipment's on, making sure we're physically conditioned, and we know where we're going to be hunting for the fall. If you got property, make sure your property prep is done. Got anything on that one?
We cover that. If you follow us, we're covering that. We start covering that in March, even though we're working on it before that. So.
Oh, I will throw this little part in here. So just so you guys know about small parcels and stuff, we're gonna actually start on Wednesdays. I'll be putting out shows showing all the stuff that Mike and I and some of the other guys have done on their properties since the beginning of this year. Some of the stuff we're changing. So you'll hear me talk about Triple B, my property, and how I have levels. This year we're adding a level, and I'm using corn as structure for east-west movement. And that's actually giving me 3/4 of a mile of edging on my property. This is 72 acres, just so you're aware. And it gives me 3/4 of a mile, basically, in top and bottom edging, where the deer move east and west, and hopefully we'll be able to get in there and take out a couple good ones there. We changed some stuff here at Mike's. Your food plot out back. You want to talk a little bit about that quick?
Yeah, that's one of the things that we did, this summer. It's, we're 4 months into our work here already.
Oh, yeah,
It's June, beginning of June. My back food plot, if you've been following us, you've seen it a lot. We redid that this year. Got corn in there, kind of a triangle-ish plot in the center to make the deer travel up and around that. Added another stand in there. We dug a water hole in there today. Put the buckwheat in today.
Yep.
Got to spray it off yet, but so we can get the brassicas that are going to go around that corn. I planted a bunch of trees down there.
Yeah, got apple trees in now.
Yeah, put 2 apple trees in down there last week. I mean, it's been a ton of work down there just in one spot.
Yeah.
Is it my most productive spot? Yes, it has been.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's been a lot of work to get it to even where it's at now, and it's not done.
No.
Because we're June.
Yeah.
So we got to still get back in there later here in August and get our brassicas planted. So, that's another thing we've done on my property here that we've changed quite a bit.
Right. So what we're saying is, you guys get a chance, check that stuff out on Wednesdays, Wednesday afternoons, Wednesday evenings when I'm gonna produce that stuff. And it's just suggestions for small properties. That's what we're basically trying to help everybody with. If they own their own property, smaller property, suggestions on how to make your property better or the best in the neighborhood, I guess. So you can take good bucks or the best buck in the area every year. So
Yes.
that's what we're going to be doing. We appreciate you guys' support over the years. Get a chance, check us out on our RSS feed, which is our podcast. It's at rss.com under The Obsession, or you guys can listen to Spotify under The Obsession or Google Podcast under The Obsession. We appreciate you guys' support.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.